What is up, Team Aquarius? Welcome to your May creative forecast. This is for May, and there's lots of stuff happening, towards the end of April into this month. So we're going to dive right in here. So we have a Pluto retrograde that started on the 29th. We also have a new moon in Taurus that kicked off eclipse season. And we also have a Mercury retrograde on May 10th, as well as a lot of Mars energy. And we also have the full moon in Scorpio on the 16th. So, like, lots of stuff. Nothing bad, just a lot of energy that could activate you in ways that you may not realize. It could activate you intuitively, all these different things. So it's going to be important to ground and so just pay attention to energy flow. But it is definitely all good, Aquarius. So let us dive right in here. Is it too bright if I put that light, if I put that on? I'm right beside a window here. I wanted to get some light for myself while I do this work. So all right, so let's pull. We're going to start with the Journey of Love Oracle. But first, I would like to invite the angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, my guardian angels, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. All right, let's do this, Aqua. My team, Aqua. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius for May? Whoa. Sacred convergence. I'm hearing Mars, Venus, Jupiter. So that could be something that sacred convergence. Mars and Venus are going in. Mars and Venus are in Aries this month. But Jupiter's there. But yeah, there's. So look that up. The specifics. They went in and right back out. So, and because I'm in channeling mode, it's like, the pearl threaded, the breaking. This strikes me as a bit of a tower. I feel a story. I feel a story coming on, Aquarius. Not a personal story, just a story of this energy. God speaks. Damn. Okay, I'm going to do this so the shine doesn't go on there. Aquarius, let's talk about this relationship that you've got coming in. I'm just going to put it very plainly. So we have the sacred convergence, and I thought about the Mars and Venus in Aries energy, and I feel like that's like activated. There's like Jupiter energy that's like wee and like turning up the volume on that. And then this came out in another reading. I can't remember which one, but to me, it reminds me of the thread that connects soulmates. The thread that connects soulmates in Chinese, I want to say mythology, but, part of the culture is believing that and not part of the culture is in, let's make a monolith. This is, there's a story of a red string that connects soulmates to one another. And that's really what I get here is like, there's something about soulmates speaking through space and time and all of that. But there's this convergence energy. I heard Neptune and Jupiter. I can't remember. There was like, it was called The Great Awakening on another channel. And I think it was Soulful Revolution. But this pearl threaded, it's like this soulmate energy. And then the breaking, like something falls apart, but I don't think it's this energy. It's like there's like this moment where things like, it's like, when you meet someone and you're like, you feel like your life changes after you meet them. Not because there's anything that they're saving you from or doing anything like that. It's just, it's it's the sign of a sacred partnership, I suppose, where there's a third energy that gets created. Right. And very early on, when there's a strong connection, it could be that that's the case. I mean, I don't know for sure. It was in Christina Lopes talked about it in her Sacred Partnerships video, where she talked about that third energy. And I feel a lot. Well, I feel a lot like, no, I feel a bit like this is that third energy emerges. And there's something that goes because the energy that was there, and it's not a third person. This is just the energy in your life that's like vacuous. And that was there, when you were by yourself, but then this person comes along like that, dun, 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 not like that at all. But there's a lot of higher energies at work here, and I think higher frequencies too. I am absolutely going to read the God Speaks card because that's phenomenal. Oh, I have to pretzel myself here. Hang on. There we go. Okay. 33. God speaks. And I think this is where it's like there's like an epiphany that comes through, or there's something that it could be an epiphany, but I don't know for sure. It's just reading it like I get the impression that there's an awareness that you have, and there's like an elevated consciousness that you're either in or that comes to you because of these events happening. And this can all happen in the 5D. Like, this doesn't have to happen in your immediate environment. It can happen energetically, and then afterwards you have the context for something. So God speaks. So that's a 3-3 card as well, which is a master number. So the divine is speaking to you directly. Underneath the silence, there is the endless music of love pulsating throughout the universe. Within that sacred sound, there is guidance. It may or may not have words. It might be a feeling in your heart that you can only access when you are still, relaxed, dancing, in a yoga practice, or even half asleep. It assures you that behind any struggle or challenge, there's only ever the divine seeking you out, calling you to surrender some fear or doubt or other so you can move closer. Trust in the sound of love beyond anything else, for in truth, no matter what may appear to be, there is nothing else. This oracle brings you guidance. You are being loved into becoming. Oh, my face went so red on that one. You are being loved into becoming. Be open to being shown the divine genius in all that is happening. If you feel you are being nudged, know you are being nudged by the divine. If you feel you are being held back, know you are being held back by the divine. All is happening perfectly for you and will unfold in divine timing. The divine... Oh my gosh, I'm having issues here. The divine is speaking to you. When you are captivated by the beauty of nature or an illogical sense that everything is okay, listen. That's the divine talking to you, reassuring you that all is unfolding according to spiritual law in perfect cooperation with your own destiny. Wow. This is incredible. This God Speaks card, there's a poem at the back, and so I'll read that to you. And something else occurred to me as I read through that, so I will share it all with you, Aquarius. So, when the first sound was born, the air was filled with fantasy, like the flower's sweet perfume. Alive in the moment, there was nothing else, only the energy coursing through my body and the tears on my cheeks. I was carried away on the strings, each note striking a chord within and answering the emotions of my soul. How priceless the surprise, how powerful the memory to be with the violin when it sings. And then the violin, so there's a poet, Andrew Gibson, who talked about in one of their videos online, on I think it was Instagram, they talked about how the violin, when it strikes a chord, it triggers the same note to be vibrating on the strings of the violins in the same room. So I almost get this imagery of this like realization you have, this like awakening that you have, less than an awakening. This is like you are being loved into becoming. Wow. Like that line alone just tells me that there's something really beautiful happening here for you, Aquarius. And it could be about soulmate love. It could be about, twin flame love if you're on that journey. But I think that there's this way that what is happening is bringing so much more than what you realize. And I think it's bringing something to the collective too. Like, I feel like there's a collective thing happening here, right? Like, I almost get this breaking energy, and then the speaking, it's like, this is the taking away. This is the breaking apart and falling apart of things that couldn't be there anymore in your life. And then this is like the replacing with wisdom. This is the replacing with wisdom. This is almost like activation energy as well that I'm getting. Wow. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius on this sacred convergence for their creative energies for May? I feel like you might be doing a reevaluation of something, but not related in a way that's like, I'm going to go back. It's just sort of, I'm thinking about it in terms of like, if you're cleaning or like, I don't know why moving is coming to mind, but it's like before you move, you sort through your stuff before you pack it. And you're like, well, I don't really need this anymore. I can't imagine that I would use this. And like, you're going through that, but like internally, there's like something you're doing internally. And I don't know if it reflects that you feel this process happening in the 5D and your 3D. Like there's something about, there's like it's not aligned yet. Like you don't see this happening in 3D, but I feel like you can sense it. Yeah, maybe. Ninth sense, whatever the heck that means. That's what just came to mind. So Queen of Cups on Sacred Convergence. Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles. Two of Wands. I feel like you're playing your cards real close, Aquarius. Not out of restriction or fear. But it's just like making plans. Like, I get the impression that you're very aware of what you want and where you want to be headed and what you want to experience and have in your life. So it's like you're not just like responding to just any energy. Maybe that's what this is. Like you're not like, and this isn't to be like, you're not being like snobbish or anything like that, though this is probably not the right word, but you're not being like, you're being judicious about how you use your energy. Yeah, you're being judicious about how you use your energy. I'm hearing because you know that there's something that you want to offer, but this is also offers coming in. This is like reflective of that, right? Like you reflecting on offers that are coming in, and it's like you're not really willing to give things up for just anything. And I think part of that might be related a little bit to some Five of Pentacles, because the 4 and the 5 here, maybe that makes up the mindset. I'm getting this, at least makes up the mindset that's going on in your mind that's making you hesitate on something. But I think, Aquarius, you're being called to leap. Like the Queen of Cups is showing up here almost as like a reminder. Like the Queen of Cups is, I almost get this to be like a water bearer, like your zodiac. The Queen of Cups is more of like a nurturing energy, compassionate, being able to read and work with emotions in a way that doesn't drain you. And also just being emotionally in touch. So it could be that this is energy that these specific transits this month are activating. And I think that there's something, if there's anything to let go of, I don't get this 5 of Pentacles in terms of like poverty consciousness. I get it as more of like a wanting to protect yourself. I'm hearing cover your ass, like CYA. Why? Why do we want to do this, Aquarius? Like bruised ego, maybe? I think these are some of your fears showing up. Your fears showing up as you contemplate. And I think that this is the process, the convergence energy here is something coming in and you feel that. But I think that you need to first let go of what hasn't been working. And I think this is just a call to really release, Aquarius. This is a call to release and let go, and to know that it's safe for you to let go, right? For you to understand that it is okay for you to release things that aren't working anymore, right? You're not going to win an award or even a banner or a badge, right? Like I'm thinking about these things that we would get in childhood if we, did something special in school, and you'd get like a little ribbon for placing, even if you placed last, right? So it's like, then what happens? Well, it sits in a closet, in a box, in a memory box, so that every so many years it still means something at the time. That's not to dismiss that, but it's like, there's no badge that you're going to get for tucking your heart away, tucking yourself away. Interesting. I'm hearing it's a match. Oh, High Priestess. Okay. Oh my gosh. And the Hermit. 6 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Shit. Aquarius. What? So on this kind of soulmate energy, we have the High Priestess, we have the Hermit, and then we have the Six of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a very spiritual connection. This could be, I think about this in terms of relationship, specific to the soulmate thing, but, soulmates can come in many forms. Like this could be a friend, this could be a teacher, this could be a guide for you, this could be any of the above, but I feel like the connection is going to be, or is quite spiritual, and you're exchanging spiritual gifts. And I think that might be where we start to see this benefiting the collective piece. Like there's some way that what you're doing is like it's something bigger than the both of you. It's like something bigger than the both of you. Yeah, it's bigger than the both of you. And I think that there's a recognition here, like this a little bit, the intuitive things that are happening. You can recognize that things are shifting. And I've had, there are different ways that I've felt like that as well, right? Like you can feel things shifting and changing. You can feel it. You can feel that. And I think that you know that there's an element of wisdom here. And I don't think you're in any hurry, which is fine. But I almost get this impression of like the breaking being a tower. And there's like some kind of like whoosh energy. Like I'm just feeling this like pull forward. I'm trying to think of a sensation to explain it as on a tractor, for example. It's fine. I live in a rural-ish area, but when you're on the tractor and then you're in the back on a ride, right? You're on a ride, on a hayride or something like that. And then they advance forward, and because the gears shift, you pull forward, like you just like you lurch forward. I almost get that impression with this braking. Like there's some way that your heart just like tugs. It tugs, but not in a way that hurts you. It's just in a way where you're like, whoa, what the hell was that? Like it's like something through time with it that you become more aware of, that something, it like, you're like awake, like something, and you were awake before, but then this is where it like flips so that you see things that were happening in 5D and you see it now in like the material world. You felt it energetically, but now it's like very apparent to you. Now it's very apparent. I'm going to clarify this. Spirit, can you clarify this breaking card? Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Oh my word. There we go. Had a minute. Spirit, can I get some clarification for Aquarius on this breaking card? Chariot. Yeah, that's the fast movement. Yeah. Like that's the forward. Whoa. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius here? 3 of Cups. Ten of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Wands. Fast. Fast energy. So we have the Chariot, 3 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Knight of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. What I'm feeling here is that it's like you're coming together with your people. And there's something really valuable here. And your people can just mean like friends. I think about Aquarius in the 11th house and how that's like the collective energy and friendship energy as well. But I feel like there's something here that like you also had to release specific things, specific groups, specific ideas, and potentially, creative collaborations. And then I feel like you're kind of striking out on your own here. In this fire energy, this Knight of Wands energy, you're striking out on your own and you feel like you're taking on the world. There's like a calculated risk that you're taking here, right? There's some kind of calculated risk or like a well thought out risk, but it's happening like this. I think that there's like, this is also potential travel, but it's like something has fired you up here. Even though there was an ending, it's like it's fired you up and you're like off to the races, right? You're off to the races. This is like this is making informed decisions quickly. So you could need to make some changes quickly, Aquarius, which is fine. We all go through periods like that. But it might be a call to ground some energy here, to ground some energy. And I think also to speak about some, if you have expectations or if you have concerns or if you have questions related to communication, I think this is a call too to be very, very to communicate in depth with others so that there's no miscommunication, because we are going into a Mercury retrograde. Nothing to be afraid of. It's just energy that calls us to be more intentional about how we communicate. And I think it's a beautiful thing to happen every so many months, because it's a reevaluation, right? Like, am I communicating with the intent that I feel? Am I communicating in a way that's aligned with my emotions? Am I communicating in a way that that speaks to what I actually want to say, right? Like for me, I can't bullshit people. Like I can't do it. It's like, and my, my friends have, they sometimes laugh because I'm as transparent as hell. Like I can't, it just, like I say what I mean. I've heard that that's true of sun signs and Mercury signs being the same, and my sun sign and Mercury are the same. So, and that's not necessarily the case. Like I don't know if that's irrelevant to the zodiac component there, but this is like you really needing to be in that energy, like saying what you mean and meaning what you say, and not because of anything other than the fact that there's like, you're connected to your intuition here. So there's an element of being safe and protected by spirit. There's also this aspect of like real movement forward here, and the making quick decisions can feel risky. It can feel risky, but there's also like, look at the payoff in there. 7 of Pentacles, right? The payoff, it doesn't necessarily mean financial. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about something that you truly value, that you are willing to put the time in on, but something's going to be like require your quick thinking, quick decision making. And also, you might want to leave some energy for the long haul, right? Like don't burn brightly here. Like don't do that. Don't burn like someone threw butane on an open flame. Like, find a way to stoke your inner flame so that it's like a candle that can last for like 8 or 9 hours, right? Something along those lines. Like that's the visual that's coming to me, so that you have energy for, not just the initial decision here, these changes. I don't know why I keep thinking decision, this breaking. There's like choices I'm getting. Nonetheless, though, there are certain things that you're leaving behind. I'm hearing picking up where you left off, but I got it in like a past life way. This is very interesting, Aquarius. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius to clarify here? Whoa. The Devil on God Speaks. I almost get that this is like, there may be fears that you aren't really speaking on right now, but I feel like they are going to be illuminated and you're going to be able to integrate them. So if there's any concerns that you have through whatever process this is in your life, Aquarius, I feel like there are ways that you'll be able to move through it and move through it with relative ease. Like, I don't get the impression that this is like a process for you, right? Like to me, this is like shadow work, but I almost feel like the light of whatever is coming into your life is going to burn away this energy of like doubting yourself, negative stories that you might have told yourself, the ways that you kept yourself in chains, right? The ways that you kept yourself in chains. And also just the way that you've been your own worst enemy too. So it's almost like this is like shining a light on those things, and it gives you an opportunity to change, not just to help other people. I'm getting, again, that collective energy, not just to help others, but I get the impression that this month there's going to be an opportunity for you to go within. And really, this is like the breaking in the 5D here, this like tower moment in the 5D where things are changing and something changes like quickly. But changes for the long haul, though. That's like, it's something that isn't just like in and out. Like the Knight of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles to me comes across as like fast moving energy, but it's something that is worth your while. Interesting. Because this is like the long-term view. And I think that this is like diligent energy too. So I think this is really it's almost like this is like burning away past energy that may have been leaving you in doubt of making decisions like this for yourself, or that, and if this is related to work or a project for you, it could just be that this is about moving through, it's almost like you're going to see your ego real clearly, and you're going to see the ways and the stories, like the ways that you've built up resistance to, I'm hearing like real love or loving the work that you do, something along those lines. Like there's a resistance that you built up to it, like you were holding your cards close. And I think this is going to allow you to see your own stuff very clearly. And I think I'm getting it in a way that's like it's clearing it, right? Like we're clearing the air. And I just noticed this as well. So you could be doing astral projection work. So this is like a silver thread I'm getting, like the silver cord. It was Christina Lopes just put out a video talking about astral projection and the silver cord. And I just get this image of like that silver cord in there, probably from watching it this morning. But yeah, Aquarius, what's going on? Then we have the 5 of Cups. And I think this is just like a momentary grieving process, right? Like this is a momentary grieving process where you're like, taking a step back and looking at the things that haven't worked. Don't stay there. Like this is the ego temptation to keep like beating yourself up over things that didn't work. And like this is potentially, to me, this is possibly also an imposter syndrome for whatever these messages are. But there's a divine aspect to things here, Aquarius. So you have to understand and go with the flow of it. Don't resist, like, pick up your 2 cups and go, right? Pick up your 2 cups and go. Because you've still got cups, right? You still got cups. So this isn't a time to do like heavy reevaluation, and understanding that sometimes the ego works like that, where it wants us to get stuck in the minutia and stuck in the little stuff, so that when it comes to the real work that might actually dissolve ego's grip, we are locked in a battle with ourselves and spirit, where, which truth and which reality counts for more. And then, this is like we get stuck in that energy. This is like a bit being bound, but this is also like, this is also speaking to that choice. This is a tough decision. This is weighing your options, but also this is weighing your options before you make changes. But there's something you're going to have to act on here. But then there's also this vibe of considering the details in the energy afterwards. And I think this could just be considering yourself in a better light. This could be thinking about the details that would have you doubt yourself, and considering them as a 2 of Cups as opposed to a 5 of Cups where 3 of them have spilled, right? Thinking about this from the 2 of Cups, internally, even externally, instead of thinking, well, do I really deserve this? Like, I don't know. And this is also, speaking about what it is that's going through your mind, right? So sharing that with people who care about you, so that if you have doubts, if you have questions, if you have things that you're not entirely sure about, then it comes to light in a way that isn't about like, drama. This is like a process of carefully shining light on things that the ego suggests to you. And, don't do that in a way that is like draining to other people or ask other people to fix you. But I think that there's something that it's like, sometimes it's okay to just say like, hey, that was, for example, I had this experience a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago now. Time feels funny to me. Anyways, I had this experience where I experienced a bit of a trigger. 2828 was on the time. And I felt a rush of anxiety, and I was talking to someone about it, and it was just it was a significant enough trigger, but I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, why do I know I'm activated right now, and I just need to like be with this for a minute. But that friend seeing me in that energy and just giving me permission in those few seconds to just be anxious, and then to see myself differently was huge, right? Just because sometimes we get into this place where we're like, oh, people can't see me like this. Woo, it's not just that. It's also that we don't want to burden people with our emotions. But the thing about, people who are in your life authentically is that there's no condition on how you show up. Like, to an extent, yes, we want, to show up in a healthy way. We want to show up in a way that's, respectful of other people. But it's okay if you have moments, right? It's okay if you have moments. And something that I carried for, a long time as a fear was just, it evaporated in that moment, because we talked about it for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then the smoke cleared, right? And I get this same process happening for you, Aquarius, in this particular month. Like there's something where you're just by sharing it, like just by sharing it and not making it like, something you have to carry on your own. It's like sharing that openly allows so much more. Like it just, it's going to blast your heart space right open in a good way, in a very good way. I'm getting a lot of healing energy. Knight of Swords, Empress, yeah. Ace of Wands. Lots of healing taking place. And I feel like that's where this period of questioning yourself, it's like speaking these things out loud is going to be a very grounding and healing act for you, because it's going to call these parts back to yourself that are just gonna, again, it's like you're going to understand what you need to do next. And I think this is also like an intensification of a potential connection. So if you are a masculine looking at your empress, or if you are an empress looking at your masculine, there is the 5D counterpart energy here, but this is like almost like an intensification of a connection, a start of a connection. It's like you feel safe to soar. You feel safe to soar now. I don't know if you can hear my stomach rumbling. It's got lots to say. But it's like you feel safe. You feel safe now to move forward on things and to move forward on ideas that you had. And it's like this, you have this, I think of the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords as, understanding the consequences and taking imperfect action, because you've done the work of processing these things. Even though you had to take quick action here, this could have already happened as well, where you had to take quick action on something and you weren't sure what to do. And then you went through this like doubting yourself process where you're like, ooh, was that the best idea? I don't know. But then it's like you get very clear on this by sharing it, right? The Three of Cups is here, I think, to say that there are certain things that are leaving your life. But I think that it's also here in this spread because there's a need to rely on other people, perhaps more than you might have been used to. So I think though that again, this is something really new coming in, and I think it's more you moving towards something, because like we can get these little offers, right? But we have to decide what to do with them. And this tells me that this is you taking action on something. Well, there's a lot of action here, but I think this is you moving forward on something because, you have more confidence now. Like it's like there's a certain sense of peace, and this could just be different parts of yourself, your soul speaking to you. This is like your higher self and your 5D self and your 3D self in communication more, right? And then you have the High Priestess and Hermit. So that, and then we have the Empress here complementing the High Priestess. And I think that this can be where you're really starting to integrate the wisdom that's coming to you from 5D, and you're hearing it and you know exactly what to do next. Not because you have experience, but because you have a connection to spirit that allows you to hear what to do next. And that is the inspiration, right? That is the forward movement. And I think this is like the like seeing creative opportunities in everything. It's like this renewed vigor. Joie de vivre is what is coming to mind here. Like your spark is back. Like there's a spark and bounce in your step, I guess, because you're not doubting yourself so much. You're not questioning yourself like, oh, do I deserve this opportunity? Oh, do I deserve this, relationship? Like, and even sometimes thinking about, and this is the interesting part about manifesting relationships and partnerships and connections, is that you can even question yourself in the manifestation process and only let yourself dream so far, right? Like don't lose yourself in the dreaminess of something, but like sometimes you notice where your discomfort is because the manifestation just stops because that's all that you know, right? Like, And sometimes we dream so big, and that's amazing. But what are 2 steps away? So like you are where you are. Yes, that's fine. And then what's the next step away? And then the next step away, then the big vision. But what are the in-betweens? Like fill those in with details too. Because that is like bridging the gap, because sometimes your mind will create this illusion, and this happens with manifesting a lot. Like I see a lot of like law of attraction, tubers post about this, and they say like, dream as big as you can and as wide as you can, as fast as you can. And it's like, yeah, more, which is fine. That's great. Like, awesome. I'm not maligning that. I found it to be very productive though, to fill in the in-between gaps, because that's where I start to see it's almost like a form of low-key shadow work built into the manifesting process, where you're like, ooh, why do I feel uncomfortable with the in-between? Why do I feel uncomfortable with the in-between? Right? Why do I feel a touch of discomfort with that? Like, why does it, you know? And we also pick up on other details that we may not have thought were important, that that really start to activate the emotion in us. And then even if that exact thing does not come, the thing that it brings to us is just as sweet, because we're able to recognize and be in the space of why it's important. So Aquarius, there's quite a bit changing this month. There's quite a bit changing this month. Yeah. Yeah, on the split, King of Wands in the world. Yeah. King of Wands in the world. Okay, so I'm going to pull from the chakra deck here for some wisdom for you. And let's see where we go with this. Let's see what happens. Spirit, what messages do you have to add on to this reading for my wonderful Aquarians for May, for their creative forecast, please? Free will. I recognize that I always have choice and free will in any given situation. As I face my life lessons and learn from my experiences, I realize that there is never a wrong decision. I trust that the decisions I make and choose love. I trust the decisions that I make and choose love, forgiveness, and expansion over fear and lack every time. I always have a choice. Yes, you do. You absolutely do, my Aquarians. I think this is just a reminder. I put it here. That was my first instinct. Well, it just felt right. So I think that this is really a call to remember that, like, when it comes to the wisdom that you get from spirit, you also get to decide what to do with it. And that can be 3636 on the time. That can be kind of scary because we're taking responsibility. But the beauty of that is that we get to decide what we do with the wisdom. And that's the richness of manifesting. That's the richness of having things in our lives and calling them to us. That is the beauty of that, right? Communication. Oof, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, communication. This is where we need to be very clear about our expectations, because there's like a lot of things that are swirling around here. Root chakra and throat. That's what I thought of when I saw this initially and mentioned it. And I see that this communication card came out, and it definitely, fell out here. But so I communicate with others in healthy and meaningful ways. My communications are constructive, honest, and purposeful. I communicate with respect, positive regard, and an intention of growth for all. I collaborate and cooperate. This, I think, is super duper important. So again, are we communicating clearly, like our expectations clearly? What do we want from a situation? Does the other person know, or are we living in a fantasy of that, right? Are we living in a fantasy of our own making, and then not being sure why the other person isn't doing things that we would hope they would do and meeting those expectations when they have no idea what we're thinking, right? So it's like, are we grounding those things that we are manifesting, or are we using manifestation as a bypass to actual communication? Right? So are we in this like Pisces, Neptune place where we're in a dreamy place in space that feels so good, but then we forget to link up with Neptune, or with Mercury, like where we forget to make that connection. And this is also, a good time to, like, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and it's like subconscious stuff, right? Subconscious communication. And I think that this is a little bit of a call here to look at the subconscious drivers that might pull you out of a place where you communicate your expectations clearly. Again, there's retrograde energy with Pluto and Mercury, and I feel like this is a good time to just surf that a little bit. You don't have to pull out the big board and go down to like where all the waves are on the beach. You just have to paddle around where you are. Maybe, ride a couple waves as they come in, get a feel for it, and understand more about your style and how things are shifting. Because as we change energetically and outwardly and inwardly, when these changes start to layer, up, what ends up happening is our style of communication can change, because we can be either more direct, we can integrate different aspects of it that really help to, not just help to bring manifestations forward for us, but they also help to they also help to illuminate what's important to us. Like it's something, it's almost like I'm getting this image of a sheet, a clean sheet after laundry day being like lifted up and then it falls on the bed, right? And it's just that soft falling is how it's like this new energy can it's like coming to you, right? Like it's soft and it falls and it's just this very peaceful thing. But it's understanding too that it's no longer a veil that you can't see through. It's something that's become a comfort that is there, every night when every day, like it's there. So it's like allowing that to become part of you and understanding that you have free will to make specific decisions. But you need to be aware that there are higher octaves of decisions that you can make that is important, like these higher frequency decisions that honor you in the light of these like little bits of reflections that we're making. So Spirit, what other messages? This is the secret language of light oracle. What messages do you have for Aquarius for this month? Let your light shine. I'm getting from this Let Your Light Shine card. This is a 9 card if you break it down. Soul family. There it is again. Yeah, connecting with soul family. With the 3 of Cups, that's the energy that I got from it. So let your light shine. I feel like you need to speak on how you're feeling. And like I have Aquarius in my chart. Like I know it's not like the best feeling, but we do have feelings. I know. Like I'm going to give people the inside scoop right now. Like we have them and they run pretty deep. But I think that what we need to do here, Aquarius, this month is understand that holding your cards close to your chest is inauthentic. I'm going to call it. It's inauthentic. Because if you're holding your cards too close to your chest, it means that you're not engaging where you are and you're not engaging in a way that is beneficial to you, because it means that you're holding back and meaning that people can't see you. They can't see you. And if they can't see you, how can you say that you're in a relationship and being honest? How can you say that you're in a friendship and being honest, right? If you have, in a job, it's different in a way because you don't want to like throw all your cards down on the table. There's office politics and things like that, which have never made sense to me whatsoever. Like I have no time for it. And I profoundly suck at it. But it's just this idea here of letting go of the idea that holding your cards close to your chest is boundaries, because it's not boundaries. Playing things close to you, it's like it stops people from getting in. Boundaries are a communication of how you feel and how you want others to treat you and the expectations that you have, the most basic level expectations that you have for a person or situation. People don't have to honor them. That's fine. But this is a call to remember to let your light shine, like let the light of your heart shine outwards. It's not about throwing everything out there right out of the gate. This is about understanding that it's safe for you to communicate what you want and need. I'm hearing. Okay. And I think that is part of this free will thing where you're understanding that, you're not just like tossed about in these waves that are just all over the place. There's something bigger happening here that you can choose. This is you choosing, right? So soul family, this card again with the 3 of Cups here on this breaking card, I feel like it's like leaving something behind and finding something new, and not like shiny object syndrome where we're like, ooh, something shiny because this feels like meh. So I'm just going to drop whole groups of people. I'm going to drop all these things. It's not like that. It's something that's more intentional, and it is something that is coming in from divine sources. So it's important to trust this and lean into it, right? Lean into it. But the key to doing this is communication. I'm getting communication so strongly, Aquarius. So oh my goodness. So that is this portion of the reading. I'm going to pull from the Miracles Now deck for you to close this reading for you, Aquarius. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Aquarians? Messages for Aquarius, please, for this creative forecast. If I could shuffle this deck, that would be great. Spirit, what messages do you have? When in doubt, I choose to see peace. Yes, perspective really. I think this is like a perspective thing. Like we're needing to take and hold the right perspective here. And I think this is also being in this peaceful state is going to help bring in this wisdom, this higher wisdom that's coming in. I think that's how it's going to find you and how you're going to see different patterns that you've had that have pushed that away. A little bit of awakening energy. Some of you could be going through spiritual awakenings. You're in for a ride of your life or the ride of your life. I don't know. It's fun though. It's good. It's good. It's good. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius, please? By spreading loving energy, I attract more love. I think this is connected to that letting your light shine, right? By letting your light shine, you don't realize it, but you're like, again, playing your cards close is one thing, but it's also then buying into this identity that your past is informing your present in a way that takes away from the capacity of people to see you. So they can't really see you and they can't really know you. And if they can't really know you, then what are you doing, right? So just remember that too. Like by spreading loving energy, you attract more love and understanding what loving energy is to you. So times this month that you have to reflect on these things will be really important to you, Aquarius, and important for you and your partnerships and projects and work that you have been calling in that are coming in now. So Aquarius, this was your monthly reading for May. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow this channel. And I really appreciate everybody, subscribing so far. This is great. And I appreciate your views and your time. So wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope that it finds you very well, Aquarius. Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful month.